What's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. So yesterday was a 4-2 day. Unfortunately, the free play that I shared was one of those losses. So 4-2 day. It's been actually a couple of losses in the free picks. So unfortunately, that's the way it works sometimes. Overall, in the VIP again is 4-2 day. I'm going to switch it up a little bit just to kind of get this interesting. Just for myself too, is because they just came back from the break on the NBA. And overall, I have a bunch of information. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start a ladder challenge. That way I can get a 3-leg in there instead of a 2-leg. So anyways, I'll get right into it. I'll show you exactly why I'm playing this as a 3-leg, which I normally don't do. But I want to start something, again, it's called the ladder challenge. And I'll explain what that is if you've never heard of it. All right, before I show you the results for yesterday and start getting into it, I had somebody in the comments yesterday, like with the crying emoji saying, hey man, you sold us out, you work for the books and stuff like that. I mean, if you're going to cry over one game, you should not be doing this, to be honest. I've given away so many free picks. Look at this, 10-2, 10-1, 9-0 run. So I've given, if you just go through my channel, and I have the receipts right here. I don't have to prove anything else. There's just a lot of straight runs, sweeps, 10-0 runs, 15-0 runs, etc. If you cannot handle losing one bet, you should not be doing this. So basically, a ladder challenge is very simple. We're going to try to get as close as possible to a plus 100 odds. And what that means is that whatever money we put in, we get double back. So whatever money we put in, we get back. So if we put in $50, we get 100 total at the end. So then tomorrow, once that wins, we go with 100 to make 200. And then the next day, 200 to make 400. And then the next day, 400 to make 800. And then 800 to make 1600. And then that's where I'm going to stop. It's going to be a 5-day ladder challenge. So whatever that is, it's just pretty much doubling down our money, getting it as close as possible to a plus 100. I'm not going to force anything. If I don't see anything, I'll skip over to the next day. But let's get started. All right, very quickly, like I said, it was a 4-2 in the VIP. Unfortunately, the one I gave away here yesterday on the free picks, it did not hit. This thing went completely on the opposite. It actually went over about 15 points or something like that. Actually 13, so about 8 points it went over the line that we had. So this just basically what I realized is that the Warriors were just not doing anything. They were losing by like 25 points and a half. Then they end up coming back and the Celtics were sitting out their stars. Then they just gave up on defense. So then the Warriors just came back and started shooting a lot of easy buckets. And that blew up the total. The Nuggets, they ended up losing by 1, but we had them not to lose by 6. So you can see right there, it did hit, but unfortunately this one killed the parlay. These two I didn't throw out anywhere, not even in the VIP, because these were live bets. I did not like the Hornets. I was actually looking at the Hornets at a plus 4.5 to begin the day. I didn't take it because the line was moving in the reverse direction. But then like later in the fourth quarter, I ended up throwing this in there at a plus 6.5. I thought it was great value. So it was too quick to move. It was moving too fast. So I didn't share it. But anyways, it was at a plus 6.5. They ended up losing by 4. So even that 4.5 would have covered. So that hit. And then USA was down 1-0, and it was great value. I ended up getting that a plus 140, and that came through and won. This one I put in the VIP. That was the Celtics minus 2.5. That hit super easily. You can see they won by 11 right there. And then the Nuggets at a plus 5.5, same line as above. And then I went on the over. So luckily this was a very close game. So they kept their stars in there, and then they ended up coming through on the over. One last thing I'll mention right here. This is a rookie mistake. So this makes a lot of people lose money, and it actually got me again yesterday. It's called chasing. So literally, I saw this line at a 227. It was jumping up to a 224. And like I said, I had the original line was a 223. So then when I saw that it was all the way up to 227, and then it kept jumping up and down. And then basically when I was like, next time I see it at a 227, I'm going to catch it. Sure enough, this did not hit. So this is called chasing. Once I saw that this one was about to lose, I started chasing and trying to get a win. And then this did not come through either. So you do not want to be doing this. This is literally a rookie mistake. And I hate that I did this. So just be aware that do not be chasing your bets. All right, guys, I'm going to show you the poster real quick. And then from there, just take a screenshot. I'm not going to talk about it. These are not our final plays. This is just a poster with all the players that are on a hot streak right now. Then I'll get right into the breakdown of the slate, of the things that I see and how I'm playing this. So here's the points, rebounds, and assists. You can see Drew Holiday. He's 5 games in a row. He's hit this 26.5. Scoot Henderson, 19.5. He's hit this 4 games in a row, and so on. Again, these are not our final plays. These are just players that have hit their hot streaks. You can take a screenshot if you want. That's all I'll say about that. Now, the first thing I like to look at in the NBA is the back-to-back report. You can see right here a lot of teams played yesterday and they're playing again today. Both of these teams played together. So even though there's no rest advantage, you might want to look at on the under because they're both tired. Again, over here, Atlanta played yesterday and Miami has a one-day rest advantage. OKC has a one-day rest advantage. Lakers has a one-day rest advantage. Portland has a one-day rest advantage. All of these other guys played yesterday, and then both of these teams played yesterday as well. So you can just literally take a screenshot if you want of this. Now, this is actually broken down a little bit better in the projected score. So you can see this Cavaliers are supposed to win by 6, and then but they're on a back-to-back, but so are the Hornets. Pacers are on back-to-back with the Wizards. This is one of the legs that I'm going to show you. It's a 114 and a 116, so that should be a total of 230. I'm going to walk through exactly how I'm playing that. And again, they're both on a back-to-back. Then you got the Jazz and the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are supposed to take that. Hawks are supposed to, the Heat is supposed to win this one, and they have a one-day rest advantage. You got Timberwolves and Mavericks didn't play yesterday. Bucks and Pelicans are supposed to win by 2. And then this one didn't give us any numbers. You got the Lakers. They have a one-day rest advantage. They're supposed to win by 8. And then you got the Nuggets are supposed to win by 2, but the Trailblazers are at home. The Nuggets traveled, and the Trailblazers have a one-day rest advantage. For the first leg of this, I'm going to be looking at the Brooklyn Nets and the Thunder. Like I said, the projected score did not come up for whatever reason. Thunder does have a one-day rest advantage, and then the Brooklyn Nets, we've been fading them all season to go on the under. They do end up covering spreads right here, but we don't care about that. We only care about the over-under. So let me skip over that line right there, and then they started at a 219. They went down to a 212. You can see the bets are 87% on the over, 93% of the money is on the over. This is called a reverse line move going on the under. And remember, like I said, Brooklyn is on a back-to-back. Now we start digging deeper into this. I'm not going to go through every single one of these details, but you can see Brooklyn has hit this 73% on the under. That's why we've been hitting on these unders, because overall they just do not score a lot. Now the simple story here is that OKC has their best players are out. You got Williams right there and Shea Alexander are both sitting. And then Claxton on the other side is questionable for Brooklyn. So all of these guys are going to affect the scoring as well. So again, the first leg of this is going to be the Brooklyn Nets and the OKC on the under. 93% of the money's on the over, and the line is actually moving opposite against the money like that. You have to pay attention. So the first leg of this, I'm going to be taking the under on a 226 for the Brooklyn Nets and the OKC Thunder. Again, that's the under 226.5. That's the first leg of this parlay. All right, so this one is actually pretty simple to explain. Basically, they're both on a back-to-back. They're both tired. Wizards actually whooped on the Pacers yesterday, and they're playing against each other again. So there's going to be a revenge game for the Pacers, but it's not the same team that you think it is. They're missing all their players. There's a lot of injuries. Just take a look at this Pacers squad over here. They're not putting in Trae Young either. Alex Zar is missing. And then on the other side, you got Siakam is out, Toppin is out, Zubac is out. And as you know, Halliburton has been out. So this is a skeleton crew. And then these guys are also missing players. So not only are they missing a bunch of players, they're also tired, and they both played yesterday. So that's a double whammy for this game on the under. Let's dig a little bit deeper into the numbers. It's not as crazy as the other game, but it's 237, went down to a 231. You can see 56% of the bets and 54% of the money is coming in on the over. And then this is a crazy one too. 19 out of the last 29 games have gone on the under. So that's a 65% hit rate. Now, something I created here, I'm not going to get into, but I just added this, just like I had showed on yesterday's video, is that you have a bunch of stuff here. You can go and start looking at all this extra stuff if you want. There's a bunch of information. I'm not going to go through it right here, but I've added something called deeper research for every game. So it gives you the breakdown of every single game that's being played today. If you want access to this tool, it's called the SharpEdge. Go to the link in the description and you get 2 weeks for free. The link is in the description for that. So the second leg of this, I'm going to take the under 246.5 for the Pacers and the Wizards. Now, before I give you the third leg of this, and then I'm going to show you the exact slip so you don't have to remember that or write it down. I'm going to show you the exact slip that you can take a screenshot. But before I do that, go to the link in the description, get the free picks. Also, make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't done so, check out the VIP passes. As you saw, so 3 days ago was a 2-1. 2 days ago was a 2-1. Yesterday was a 4-2. Unfortunately, the ones I've been sharing on the free side have been losing, but overall VIP has been decent. So check out the VIP right there. Also get Telegram access. I'm going to start throwing live picks in there as well. And then the SharpEdge 2 was 2 weeks for free, just like I had mentioned. All right, the third one here is going to be the Pelicans versus the Bucks. You can see the projected score is 114 to 112. So that's actually 226. This is the one I don't like, but I'm going to give you the reasoning why I'm still going with it. And I'll tell you the exact number I'm going with. The line did start at a 224 and it went down to a 222. So that's only a 2-point line move down. However, the projections show that they should be scoring more. So that's one thing I don't like. That's a contradiction. Now we go deeper into this. You can see the Bucks are 75% going on the under in the last 8 games. 6 out of the last 8 have gone on the under. There's a bunch of other information that I'm not going to get into right here, but I'll give you the relevant stuff. The Bucks right here, you can see 21 games, 39% have gone on the over. That means that 60% or 61% have gone on the under in the last, 53 games. Now we look over here at the injuries. The big one right here is going to be Giannis. He's out. They also have Prince and Turner, but the big one, like I mentioned, is Giannis. That's going to be a big factor in the scoring for Milwaukee. So basically, Milwaukee without Giannis is not the same team at all. Everything runs through them. Also, Pelicans are hurting. They're missing Missy, Murray, and Murphy. So all 3 of those are going to be big factors in the scoring overall. I was also looking at the Pacers, but the line, just the Pacers to win, but the line is actually shifting in the wrong direction. And also the same thing with the Pelicans. There's too many injuries to call it. I'm not going to go with it. But the ones that did come up for me were the Pacers and the Pelicans. I'm not going to touch that one. I'm just going to look at the under, and I'm going to give you the slip. All right, guys, here's the slip. So I'm going to take a 3-leg parlay, which I don't normally like doing, but I'm going to do a ladder challenge. I wanted to switch it up a little bit today. And we got the under for Brooklyn Nets, 226.5. We got the under for the Pacers and the Wizards, 246.5. I showed you all the injuries. I showed you everything both on a back-to-back. Brooklyn is on a back-to-back. And then over here, they're missing a lot of key players as well on both sides. Under 235.5 for the Bucks and the Pelicans. Under 246 for the Pacers and the Wizards. Under 226 for the Nets and the Thunder. Thank you so much, guys. We're about to cross 4,400 subscribers. I really do appreciate you all that are commenting and liking and sharing my stuff. I really do appreciate it. Let's get to 5,000 by the end of this month. If you haven't done so, take a second, go to the link in the description and check out the VIP stuff and the SharpEdge as well. Also, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's have a great day.